you need to pull up that PDF document that you downloaded or is on your data disk when you purchased the lessons. Pull that up, and you either need to print out all the pages in the PDF document and then make a folder out of them, punch holes in them, or you can just use a laptop or computer screen or iPad, iPhone, whatever, but you need to pull those up right now. You do need to print out this first page because I want you to write on it. Or I guess there are programs now where you can actually write on the screen of whatever technology device you're using. But we're going to keep a practice log, and you need to do this. This is very important to the method. And the first PDF document is just a sheet of paper that says repertoire, new pieces, and flashcards. Whenever you sit down for your 30-minute practice session, we're going to have 3 parts. The first part is going to be the repertoire, and that's the time where you spend just playing through the pieces that you know. And remember, repertoire is what you can play right now. And right now that number should be 0. But as the weeks and months progress, you're going to have quite a few pieces right here that you can play through. And that'll always be what you do first. It's a great confidence builder to sit down and play through 10 or 15 pieces pretty well and get through them and do a good job at them. Really will make you feel good about yourself. So that's the first section of the 30 minutes. That may only take a few minutes when we first start here, but it'll end up taking 5 and 10 minutes as you learn more and more pieces from this method. The second part of the 30 minutes is going to be new pieces. Alright? That's going to be pieces that you haven't started to memorize, where you actually have to still read the notes. Okay? It won't stay a new piece for very long. And once it does, we'll transfer it over to the repertoire section. So let's say we start off in lesson 1 is a new piece. You begin working on it and you get it down pretty good. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll put a line through, we'll mark it off, and then we'll move it over here to our repertoire section. And then the new piece will become lesson 2. And after a couple of days you get that down, we mark that off. Lesson 2 becomes part of your repertoire. Alright, and of course then the new piece becomes lesson 3. I'm not going to go through all 50, so don't worry. But at this point, when you sit down for a practice session, the first few minutes of your 30 minutes is going to be spent playing through lesson 1 and lesson 2, and then we'll move on to the new piece, lesson 3. Once you start to memorize it, it needs to be marked out and placed in the repertoire, okay, section. And there's some flexibility on how much time you spend in each section of that 30 minutes, how you divide it up, okay. Eventually your repertoire time will end up being 10 or 15 minutes, and that's okay. The last section, the flashcard section, involves the random note reading that I talked about in the first video. Now, random note reading does not involve melody or music, okay? If what we're trying to read has a melody or music, it sounds like something, then we're going to memorize it, and it's not going to be effective as a reading tool. So what we do is we take that out totally, and we do something that's random. There's a PDF file in here that's just flashcards, and you can print them out and cut them out and set them up on your piano or keyboard, you know, and then play through those, and then shuffle them up, and then play through them again, and then shuffle them up, play through them again, 4 or 5 times each practice session, and those will be really helpful to you. But that needs to be part of your 30-minute practice session, okay? So repertoire, the new pieces, or maybe it's just one new piece that you're working on, and then the flashcard will be the last section of that, okay? So that's will be something you need to do every practice session. These 3 sections, make sure you have all three, and write in your log. Keep track of what you're doing. Now on the flashcards, you can just put a check mark if you want for that day, or you could put how many note cards you have memorized, okay? Because we're not going to start out with all 24, 25 flashcards. We're going to start out with 3, 4, and 5, all right? And you can write those here in this section. And then as you learn more, you can add them on there, okay? Until we have all 24 notes in the grand staff memorized. All right, so let's stop the video and then we'll get to actually learning to note read.